We're just singing in the universal language of I Lai Lai. So there's no page number. It's just a matter of getting comfortable in your seat and in the room. I don't know if you've noticed, people are beginning to put on a tallis, and if that's something you might want to do, we have them up at the front. Ricky, will you wave your hand? Yeah, that guy at the back of the room. But you too could put on a four-quartered garment with tassels, which is something Sam will lead us in a moment. But if you want to grab it now, we're just sort of getting comfortable here. Join us. Hi, hi, hi.
Shabbat shalom.
That was a really good start. My name is Rabbi Lizzie Heidemann. You are here at Mishkan, Chicago. For whom is this the first time you're at Mishkan? Let's start there.
Ooh.
All right. Well, welcome to this community. This is a Jewish spiritual community, and every single Shabbat we do something to honor the day of rest. Maybe it's a Friday night service, maybe it's a Shabbat morning service. And so whether or not we're celebrating, we're always celebrating. But I'm just going to go out on a limb and guess that many of you who put your hand up are here to actually celebrate this morning. Maybe it's Sam Bess-Ehler becoming a Jewish adult. Is that right? And maybe some of you are here celebrating the imminent marriage of Natalie Debo and Jacob Portman. You've got at least two parents in the room right now. More to come. But I want to say for all of us, the uniting thread is that it is the Holy Sabbath. It is the day of rest. And so what that means is whatever you may have been doing all week, all 6 days of the week, when you come into this space, you enter a kind of different head and heart space, and you put down, as Rabbi Heschel says, the clamor of the work week and the tools of the work week. So I want you to think for a moment, if it helps to like sit up a little straighter and close your eyes even, and think about the things that you do that occupy your hands and your body and your brain during the week. I know for me there's a lot of this. Like that maybe, and a lot of this, right? Any others? Like, what are some things? You can just shout it out. Like, this is small. We're small, and we're all gonna like have an experience together this morning. We may as well start out. Like, what are some other things that occupy your brain and the week? Okay, Noah. Page flipping. In what context? Like, chemistry books? Fiction. Oh man, that's really good. I can't tell you we don't do that on Shabbos because we do a lot of that on Shabbat. What else? Yeah, Sam.
Does everyone know what the word manually means?
Describe.
The fact that whenever someone says, think about your breathing, I'm always like, so I am now breathing manually.
I love that. Well, consciously, right? You were doing it involuntarily before, but now all of a sudden I'm doing it consciously. Yeah. It's like half a moment of manual breathing. So what I was going to say about this day is that all week, and especially I think our culture is a culture that like focuses a lot on productivity, getting a lot done, getting as much done as possible. Being busy is like a virtue in our culture. How are you? Busy. So like today is a day for spaciousness. It is a day for being a human being, not a human doing. All right? Because so much of life is doing. I'm doing a lot. So today, we are not defined by what we do or what we make. We're just who we are. And that is a blessing, and that is a gift. And so we get to sink into that with song and with learning. We're going to do some learning together. Sam is going to guide us in some teaching that he has been doing as he's been thinking about the Torah reading over the last many, many months. We're going to eat because that feels good. And we're going to be. We're just going to be. We're going to be together. We're going to be together in prayer and in song and in the spirit of Shabbat and rest and spaciousness. And so what that also means is the idea is that on the holy day of rest, the world is perfect, which I know is kind of a mind trip because there's a lot in this world that you know is broken and imperfect. However, we practice on this day reframing the way that we exist in this imperfect world as looking at it with eyes of possibility and eyes of appreciation. All week we fix and we change. One day a week we appreciate what has been, what has already been created and done, that we've done, that other people have done, and we celebrate. So I want to give you a little tutorial to the book itself, because once upon a time, rabbis and poets who came long before us put together a liturgy of appreciation and celebration and blessing, and that's what's in this Siddur. Siddur just means order, sort of like Passover Seder means order. And so we're not going to do everything in this book. Sorry for those of you who maybe were hoping that we would do all 300 pages. We're going to choose psalms and prayers to make our way through the morning service. Turn to page 10 if you would. And I know we've got a wide spread in this room of experience, people who maybe daven or pray every single Shabbat with Hebrew, and other people for whom the Hebrew language, it may as well be Greek or Chinese. And so there are tools on every single page of this Siddur for you to be able to participate, whether or not you actually know Hebrew. And if you do, all of the traditional Hebrew is there as well. So you'll see on the inner binding all of the traditional Hebrew. And you'll see on the left-hand side of the page all of the transliterations so that you can participate. And you'll see on the right-hand side of the page both translation on the inner binding, and on the right-hand far side, there's commentary and ideas from the person who put together the Siddur. who is a math professor at Rutgers University. So this isn't magic, you know. This wasn't handed down on Mount Sinai, this book. It was actually created by people like us who wanted to figure out how to come together and celebrate and knew that it's actually hard to come up with your own words every single week. So they gave us some words, and they pulled from the book of Psalms, and they pulled from different poems that they had shared with one another, and they passed that down to us. And for some of us, this may be very familiar, and for some of us, this may be utterly new, and all of it's good. All of it, you're here for all of it. And so there's no such thing as like knowing it so well that you deserve to or you're ready to participate. It'll be so much more fun in here if everybody just jumps right in with wherever you are. The Lubavitcher Rebbe said, like, once you know Aleph, do Aleph. Teach Aleph. Once you know Aleph Bet, do Aleph Bet. Teach Aleph Bet. You don't have to learn the whole alphabet before you can begin to share it and to do it and to practice it. Spiritual practice, literally, it's practice. So nobody in here is perfect, certainly not me, not Rabbi Stephen over here. I mean, he's great. He's probably better than me, but this is Emma on the davening team. This is Ellie. This is Talius. This is Ruvain. And, of course, Sam, who's joining us this morning to daven and to lead. So we're on page 10. I'm going to sit back down here. We'll practice jumping in here with a round. We'll start together, and then we'll break. And anybody who's on the side where Sam and Rabbi Stephen are, you'll follow them. And anybody who's on the side where I am, you'll follow me. Here we go. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkanotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkanotecha Yisrael. Try that with us. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkanotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkanotecha
On this special day, you are standing on the shoulders of so many generations and ancestors who came before you, including me when I was bat mitzvahed 31 years ago this month. We are honored to give you this beautiful talit from your papi. He has given you his prayer shawl, and with it, we hope you feel enveloped by our family and our community. Today, as we celebrate you becoming a Jewish adult, and as you begin your next step in your Jewish journey, we are incredibly proud of the young man you have become. We have full confidence in the skills, hard work, integrity, and values that you bring to this day and that you have called on throughout your preparation. We've often celebrated how you are an old soul who in many ways has figured out the secrets to a good life. Great books, good food, dear friends, a farmer's market visit that includes fresh raspberries, 7-year aged cheddar with pretzel rolls, and of course, fresh cookies from Hillary's. Wonderful, wonderful music ranging from Fleet Foxes to Fiddler on the Roof to Jazz Hop Cafe, a walk in nature, and comedy. A few years ago, you said, I do know who I am. I am a student because everywhere I look, I learn. We know that if you stick to those wise words, continue to find what challenges you and makes you think, and continue to hold space to do what you love, like read, play piano, yes, play video games too, and of course, hang with your friends and your family, then you will have figured out the critical elements of a good life. And through it all, we know that justice is at your core, and is a core outgrowth of our Jewish identity and how we identify in our community. 6 years ago this week, you woke up to the incredibly distressing news of the 2016 election results. You, a 7-year-old, looked at me and said, no, Mommy, this is not okay. We have to do something. We have to make a plan. And so we did. We created a group called We Have to Make a Plan, and through it, we engaged with others in our community and marshaled all the volunteer resources we could to organize, protest, phone bank to voters, wrote postcards to voters, and still, many years later, you continue to make your voice heard and engage in the complex political and social issues of our time. Change can take a long time, as you've already seen in your life, but we hope that you will always keep standing up for what is right and using your voice to make that change happen. Before you put that talit on, Daddy has a few things he wants to say. Hold on 1 second, and then we'll do the prayer.
Thank you. Sorry. I want to say congratulations, Sam. Your mom and Noah and I are just thrilled at your achievement. To say you're an inspiration is an understatement. Inspirational Sam has learned the Parsha. He's learned the Torah blessings. He wrote a Devar Torah. He helped plan a justice project. He learned to read some Hebrew, and especially all your passages. I'm not sure I could do all that. I mean, to be sure, I'm the only one who hasn't studied Hebrew in our home. In fact, to all who didn't know, I actually only became a member of the Jewish faith 3 years ago. So I guess I'll have to wait 10 more years for my own BMitzvah. Keep an eye out for the Save the Dates. I've used that joke before, but throughout this process, and throughout your life, really, you've always asked questions. A very curious boy, this Sam. Why does the moon phase? How do you play a B7 chord? Why haven't you showered in a week, and where are your pants? Curious Sam loves asking questions. And one set of questions he loves to ask, and you'll probably hear today. What is your favorite ... What is your favorite music genre? What's your favorite Pixar movie? Who's your favorite character in a novel that isn't the protagonist, but it's a part of the primary conflict, but lives at the end of the book? Okay. We love Curious Sam. We love Inspirational Sam. But the one Sam we honor today, more than the accomplished Sam, more than the committed Sam, is the joyful Sam. Sam is a joyful kid. Never one to be exceptional at handling changes. I attribute this to him not wanting to lose any of the components of his life that bring him joy. At one point, when Karen was changing jobs, Sam expressed a quality of distress. He asked about whether everything was going to be fine, and Karen tried to assuage his concern by saying what parents say. We're going to be okay. And to this, Sam said, I know we're going to be okay. I want to know if we're going to be happy. Joyful Sam. Of all the Sams you could have chosen, strong Sam, smart Sam, rich Sam, you chose joy. And I look at all of you today to say thank you. Thank you for supporting Sam through this milestone, for supporting us. And Sam, thank you. We love you. We're thrilled to be your parents and couldn't possibly be happier at the man you have and will continue to become. Thank you. Love you so much.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hitatef batzitzit.
Amen. Amen. Put that bad boy on. You got it. Here. There you go. Kiss the corners. Scratch. And invite up Noah, and we're going to turn to page 29. Sink into our liturgy of joy. The word ashrei literally means joy. Whenever you're ready, Sam. You'll just keep following Sam, or if you want, you can dive in the liturgy with me. We're at the bottom of 30. Tehillat Adonai Yedaber Pi Ve'yivarech Kol Bashar Shem Kodsho turn to 33, and actually this is the one where, yes, you can, or you can stay, whatever you want. We're gonna turn to 33. This is the one where when we're doing this with the little kids, we say to them, you can stand up, you can shake it out, you can like sing all your sillies out, and I'll say that to you too. I feel like adults are a little less comfortable shaking out your sillies in public, but this song, Hallelujah, it's Psalm 150, and it's the culmination of the book of Psalms, and it's sort of the psalmist's way, King David's way of saying, like, after you've used all the words, the best you've got are instruments and music, and that's the way that we express ourselves most fully. And so I'll say also, like, there's a bunch of space in the back of the room. And if you've got little kids, or not so little kids, who maybe don't want to sit in the chair and want to run around in the back quietly, that's what it's there for. And if you're a kid at heart and you want the same thing, that's what it's there for. Hallelujah, 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 Kocho, hallelujah, Merkia Uzo, hallelujah, Bikurota, hallelujah, Kerobulo, hallelujah, 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 We turn to 35. Nishmat kol chai tivarech et shimcha Adonai Eloheinu. Ruach kol basar tivayer v'tiremem zichracha malkeinu tamid min ha'olam v'ad olam ata'el. Some of these songs we do out loud and all together. Sometimes you read the poetry to yourself, but out loud. And it's a little bit of a cacophonous holy mumble. And that's how it's supposed to be.
Two words that often go together.
That's
Cacophonous
right.
and holy.
That's exactly right. Thank you. Oh, this is going to be so much fun, Sam. We turn to 38. Mi yidmelach umi shavelach umi aroch lach ha'el hagadol hagibor v'hanora el elyon koneh shamayim v'aretz nehalelcha v'neshabechacha v'nevaercha v'nevarech et shem kodshecha ka'amur leDavid baruchi nafshi et Adonai v'kol karovai et shem kodsho. We're on 39. Befi Ishari Titroma middle of the page Uv Divrei Tzadikim, Titbarach, Shochein Ad in the bold, Shochein Ad, Maharon, Vekadosh, Shemo, Shochein Ad, Maharon, Vekadosh, Shemo, Uvilshon, Hasidim, Titkadash, Uvikeret, Kedoshim, Titala, Shochein Ad, Maharom, Vekadosh, Shemo, Shochein Ad, Maharom, Vekadosh, Shemo. ובמקלות רבבות עמך בית ישראל ברינה יפאר שמך אלוקינו בכל דור ודור שכן חובת כל יצרים לפניך אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו להודות להלל לשבח לפאר לרומם להדר לברך להלל ולקלס על כל דברי שירות ותשבחות דוד בן ישי עבדך משיחך. We're on 40 and we stand. Yishtabach Shimcha Le'ad Malkeinu. Using our voices to praise you. We offer our words and our songs, our thoughts and our feelings to acknowledge your power, your sanctity, your greatness, and your glory. Barachot ve'hodaot me'ata v'ad olam Baruch atah Adonai el melech gadol v'tishbachot el hahodaot Adon haniflaot habocher b'shirei zimra melech elchei ha'olamim. We're on 41. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה ועמד יברח רותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בגלה בזמן קריב ואמרו אמן.
שמי רבך לעולם ומעל מיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן נעמה ואמרו amen. So I'm going to ask you to remain standing for just a moment if you're able. And I'm doing this not just to be annoying, but actually in part to be annoying. Because, and what I mean by annoying is that ritual, when done well, should be disruptive. Ritual, when done well, should interrupt the flow of our normal existence to make us ask, what are we doing? So the standing up, the sitting down, the bowing, the Hebrew, the song, the silence, all of this interplay is to get us to pay attention to this very moment. This very moment. So when in a moment we all face east together as a group, and Sam leads us in the Baruch Hu, the call to prayer, it should be a moment of us saying, wait a second, what am I doing here? Because I imagine I'd say for 100% of us, even the rabbis in the room, we don't do this every day. We don't gather in this particular group, in this particular space every day. We don't read these particular words in this particular fashion every day. We don't do this every day. And so this is a moment of saying, where am I? What am I doing? How am I? When was the last time you asked yourself, Like, really ask yourself, how am I in this moment? And imagine for some of you the answer to that might be, I am joyful. I'm here to celebrate an impending wedding, or Sam becoming bar mitzvah, or whatever joy you happen to have in your heart at this moment. But I imagine for some of you might be, I'm actually feeling a little heartbroken right now. I'm holding something difficult. Maybe it's both. Maybe you're holding both joy and difficulty. Maybe you're bored. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you're hungry. Maybe you are thinking about what needs to be done later today. So then the follow-up question to that is, what needs to shift for me in this moment? What do I need in this moment to lean more fully into this space? And so as we turn east, as Sam leads us in the Baruch Hu, ask yourself those questions and make that shift so you can be fully present here today. We're on page 42.
And like Sam, we'll bow. Come back up as you say God's name. Take a seat, and we're going to daven our way through the next statement. You look on 43. Each day you burst open the doors of the eastern sky and the windows of the globe surrounding the world. You propel the sun and moon out of their resting places. Each day you bring light to the cosmos and all that's in it, to our world and everyone in it, all created and sustained through your compassion. Each day you create the world over and over again, each day demonstrating your goodness. For ages we've praised you and glorified you. You, our exalted ruler, our eternal God, have compassion on us, infinite source of compassion. You are our rock of strength, our shield of protection, our spring of salvation. We turn to 48. Or chadash al Tzion ta'ir, v'nizkeh chulanu mehera leoro, Baruch atah Adonai yotzer ha'meorot. May you soon bring a new light to Zion, and may we all be worthy of that light. Blessed are you, the creator of heavenly lights. So a moment ago, Sam put on for the first time a tallis. And this tallis, for many people, when we introduce it like it is a hug from the generations, which is a little bit how Karen talked about it. And why is that kind of a nice thing to have, I wonder, sitting in prayer, or as you walk around, many people wear something like a tallis, even if not like this, something that, has the tassels underneath, the tzitzit underneath their clothes every single day. Why might it be nice to look down, look at this, and think to yourself, like, this is a hug from the generations?
Group hugs are fun.
Say it again?
Because group hugs are fun.
Group hugs are fun post-COVID. Yes, group hugs are fun. As I was thinking about this moment right before the Shema, as we go into this prayer, ahava rabbah, deep love, abundant love, great love, I was thinking about the philosophy of the Mensch Academy. The Mensch Academy is the name of our religious school, where Sam is one of like the original founding participants in a religious school that is now 6 years old. And you are now 6 years older than you were when you started it in like the first class, really, of Mensch Academy. And the philosophy, the pedagogy of this place is that kids should feel loved enough and safe enough to be able to take risks and develop their own bold Jewish ideas. That's the mission statement, that kids should feel loved enough and safe enough to feel like they can take risks and develop their own bold Jewish ideas and know that they are the next and most important voice in the chain of tradition. And it's hard, I think, to take risks in general. We're reading this week in a Torah portion called Lech Lecha, which means go forth. Sam's going to share his thoughts on it a little bit later, but it means go forth. It is, I think, a very hard thing to do, to go forth, to do anything that is different than what has been done before you. But it is made easier by knowing that you are loved, that you are supported, that the generations who have come before you have culminated in you, sitting here, all of us, all of our generations that have led to this particular instantiation of DNA in this body, in this moment in history, sitting wearing this little tallis, knowing, hopefully, that you are loved and that that should give you strength and that that should help you feel like you can take risks and be courageous and bold. And so as we go into this prayer, ahava rabbah, I'm going to sit back down in a moment. It's sort of a chant. It's like a back and forth chant, the way that we'll do it this morning. I want you to think for a moment. Sam already made me feel self-conscious about inviting you to close your eyes and breathe. We're going to go on. We're going to go on manual. We're going to go on manual for a moment, as he described. To actually take a moment, and if it helps, to close your eyes and to think about a person, a teacher maybe, a parent maybe, a grandparent maybe, who gave you the chizuk, the strength, through their love, through their attention, to let you know that you could take a risk. You know, and maybe that risk worked out well, maybe it didn't, but that wasn't the point. The point was that you had permission to try something, to be yourself, to follow your own intuition, to follow your own path. And that great love, that is God's love coming through human beings. And so now we celebrate that, think about that, pray on that as we go into the Shema. Now we're on 49. You can repeat after me. Send up a little thank you for that person, and maybe, commit to yourself to, if they're still in this world, contact them later and say, I thought about you today. Thank you. Ahava, ahava, ahava rabbah. The four corners of your seats. Ahava, ahava rabbah. You can hold them with your hand. Ahava rabbah. We're on page 50. the tzitzit in your hand over your eyes. As we close our eyes, we all say the Shema together. Whenever you're ready.
Shema.
Shema Yisrael
Ve'ahavta
et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam V'shivtecha b'beitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'ketavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'hisharecha. I invite you to turn to 53. There are 3 paragraphs that follow the Shema, and this one sort of is a participation one. So take your tzitzit that you've been holding in your hand, and every time you hear the word tzitzit, you kiss them. You know? It's like you get a hug from the generation, so you give a little bit of love back. And this is the paragraphs from the Torah that remind us that we wear these to remember not just that we are loved, but that we were liberated from slavery to go be people who see where liberation is needed in the world and act in God's behalf to do the work that God did for us once upon a time. So we start on 53. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber el bnei Yisrael, v'amarta lehem, v'asu lehem tzitzit, al kanfei bigdeihem lidorotam, v'natnu al tzitzit, hakanaf betil techelet, v'haya lechem letzitzit, uritem oto, uschartem et kol mitzvot Adonai, v'asitem otam, v'lo taturu, acharei levavchem, acharei einechem, asher atem zonim achareihem, lima'an tizkeru, v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'hayitem kedoshim lelohechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher oteti etchem me'aretz Mitzrayim, lehiot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, Amen. We're going to turn to 57, kind of ride that theme of liberation into a prayer called Mi Chamocha. This comes straight out of the Torah. This is the prayer the song that our ancestors sung when they made it to the far side of the Red Sea. And they danced and sang. And we do it every day, twice a day, Rabbi Yitz Greenberg says, because it is a staggering pedagogical challenge to teach people that the world could be changed, could be perfected. The liberation that has happened once for us could happen again, not just for us, but for other people as well. So we need to remind ourselves. We need to put ourselves in the heart space of our ancestors who sang and danced when they had a victory, you know? So that we know that it's possible, so that we remember that we can. Tehilot le'el elyon baruch hu mevorach, Moshe u'Miriam u'bnei Yisrael, lecha anu shira b'simcha rabah, ve'amru kulam mi chamocha ba'elokim Eretz Yisrael, Uvdei Chinumecha Yehuda veYisrael, Go'aleinu Yatzot Shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch Atah Adonai Yisrael. Turn to 57. We face east again.
Or 58.
Oh, 58. Yes,
That
we were already
page.
on 57.
We're already on 57, but not 58. And we're going to
already on 58.
we are going to begin the Amidah together, which begins on page 58. After doing these first three blessings together, you'll have an opportunity for personal silent prayer through page, I think, 78, 79. There's also meditations you can find as well in the Siddur, if you'd prefer that. And we'll begin, if you are wearing a talit and you want to put it over your head to create your own private prayer space. And we begin by taking 3 steps backwards and 3 steps forwards, as if entering our own little sanctuary together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Anora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Koneh Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, ומביא גואל לבניהם למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ופוקד שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים.
קדש את שמך בעולם כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום.
לקדש את שמך בעולם כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב ביד נביאך וקרא זה אל זה ואמר.
Up on the balls of your feet.
קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלך הארץ כבודו.
בקול רעש גדול.
אז בקול רעש גדול, אדיר וחזק משמיעים קול, מן הסומות צורפים, לעומתם ברוך יאמרו, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. ממקומך מלכנו תופיע, ותמלוך עלינו כי מחכים אנחנו לך. מתי תמלוך בציון, בקרוב בימינו לעולם ועד תשכון, תתגדל ותתקדש בתוך ירושלים עירך, לדור ודור נצח נצחים, ועינינו תראנה מלכותך, כדבר האמור בשירי עוזך. ידי דוד משיח צדקך,
ימלוך אדוני
לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גולך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהים בהילום ירושלים ועד, כי על מלך גדול וקדוש אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Continue on your own on 62 forward. ישמח משה במלאך הכל, כי אבן ארון קראת לו כלי תפארת בשל. שני לוחות אבנים מאחורים גדול, כתוב מהם שמירת שבת, כן כתוב בתורתך ושמר בני ישראל את השבת. ועולם ביני ובין ישראל, תהיה לעולם כשבי שתמי מסך בני תשמע מכתר. ולענות אותו אדוני למינים לברך, כי ישראל עמך נתתו ואהבה לזרעי יעקב השבת. כל יסבור. אלוהינו שמענו מטובך, הנגילנו אדוני באהבה ורצון שבקדשך מלך בני ישראל, ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. מודים אנחנו לך. I'm on 71. Sim shalom tova uveracha chen v'chased v'rachamim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. We're on 74. Yitkadal v'yikadash me'er rabba ve'amad divrach cherutei ve'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon u'biyom echon u'chayed lechol beit Yisrael bagala u'bizman kariv ve'imeru amen amen yehesh me'rabba mevarach Elam Lamei Almaya Yitbarach Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitrom V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitale V'yitalal Shemei Tekudshah Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata Tishbechata v'nechemata Damiran Be'alma V'imeru Amen Amen Titkabal Tzalot Onuvat Ondecho Yisrael Kadam Abuhon Dibishmaya Ve'imeru Amen Yehish Lama Rabba Min Shemaya Ve'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'imeru Amen Amen Ose Shalom Bimromav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel Imeru Amen Yasher koach. That is what you say when somebody's just done something impressive in the context of shul, and I feel like you all just have. We made it through an hour of intense davening together. Yasher koach. Thank you. And you can use that later in the Torah service. What's going on, Adira Hana? Okay, we are going to reset up here. We're going to bring over a table. We're going to read Torah on. So what I want to invite you to do in that space, it's going to be a few minutes, is greet each other. Say hello to somebody you did not come here with this morning. And if you're online with us this morning, welcome. We're so happy you're here. We know many people are here to celebrate any number of celebrations and also just Shabbos. Greet each other online as well. And we'll come back in just a few moments. Say hello to somebody you don't know. Find out why they're here. Wonderful. Of course. You want to go say hello? Great. Do it. Do it up. Thank you, Reuven. You're nailing it with the page turning. Well, back like you're going to use them, but yeah. Yes. Woo! I'm going to put this here for Pagba or whatever, or me, or I'm going to grab Sam's Devar. Yes. Very good. One day I'm sure I will. Okay, great. Okay. I wish it wasn't so windy and so yucky with rain. That looks kind of cool. Look at this cute little baby. Want to come look at this window? Here, watch your step for the chorus. Tiptoe. Let's see, we need to grab like something to gamma in. Oh, wonderful. Okay. I want to invite the davening team to come on back.
Davening to the dais. Davening to the dais.
Ellie Spitz. Okay. All right. We don't have a drummer, but we're just gonna get it on. We're just gonna do it.
Great.
All right. You ready? Let's see. Well, I guess this will pick you up, okay. All right.
Yeah, we're good.
Hello.
All right, here we go. Yes, thank God. We're gonna begin again. Find your seats. I invite you to find your seats.
Testing. Oh, it's actually on now.
Yeah, we're on page 75. Where is your seat? Here, use that one. Ein kamocha va'Elohim Adonai ve'ein ken ma'asecha. We're on page 75. Malchutcha, malchut kol olamim, u'memshalcha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz le'amo yitein, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Av ha'rachamim, heitiva b'rtzoncha and Rebecca, cousin Katie, Uncle Lee, Aunt Dara. And in a moment, they're going to open the ark. And inside of the ark is the Torah. And inside of the Torah is 5,000 years of Jewish wisdom. And we need to make sense of this wisdom because it was written in a time very different from our own. And so Sam is going to hold this Torah and take this Torah around the room, and you'll see the custom. People will reach out maybe with their book or with their talis to kiss the Torah, or maybe, to get a little Sam action, but with the edge of their talis or with their book. And the idea is, it's sort of like it's carrying this theme that we've been talking about of love, and love through the generations, and love through the generations expressed through wisdom and through teaching and through learning and through wrestling. That's kind of what that's about. And so as we stand, as the ark is opened, and we stand as the Torah goes around, you can finally sit back down when the Torah sits back down on this table here. But it's a big celebration, actually, as we take the Torah out of the ark. So are you all ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We're on 75 still. Who's opening the ark?
Wait, do we get to sing BMitzvah or no?
Oh, yeah, that's happening right now.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah. You're ready for it, huh? Vayehi ben Haaron, Vayomer Moshe. You can go ahead and close that one. It's okay. Kuma Adonai v'yafutzu oinecha v'yanusu misanecha mipanecha ki mitzion teitze Torah udvar Adonai b'Yerushalayim. Baruch shenatan Torah le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. We're all going to repeat after Sam.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Gadlu
Adonai iti, uneromem Shemo yachdav. Rabbi Stephen's going to go around the room with you and this whole entourage. We're on 78 if you want to sing with me. Lecha Adonai take a second to flex your elbows the other way.
Okay. Hey.
You have your tavar? Oh, it's up there.
Do I start now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hang on. Just really. In a moment, we're going to read from this smaller soft cover book that you have. And so Sam is going to give us a little introduction to the Torah portion that we're going to be reading, to the section we're going to be reading, and shedding his own unique light on it. Go for it.
Adonai tells Avram to go far from his home with his family to found a new nation. Sometime along the perilous journey with his nephew Lot and his wife Sarai, they make it to Egypt. Adonai realizes that he might be killed if the Pharaoh wanted to take Sarai as his own wife.
Can I stop you? Oh. This mic isn't the best mic for you to talk into. Yeah.
So, do I just continue?
Why don't you start again?
Okay. Okay. All right. Adonai tell.
You want it there? You want it higher?
No, it's good where it is. Okay. Adonai tells Avram to go far from his home with his family to found a new nation. Sometime along the perilous journey with his nephew Lot and his wife Sarai, they make it to Egypt. Avram realizes that he might be killed if the Pharaoh wanted to take Sarai as his own wife, so Avram asks Sarai to tell the Pharaoh that she is his sister instead of his wife. So in Egypt, Sarai said she was Avram's sister, and the Egyptians see how beautiful she is and take her to be Pharaoh's wife. Avram gets a lot of stuff in exchange for Sarai, but then Adonai sends a plague to Pharaoh, and when Pharaoh realizes that Sarai is Avram's wife, he gets mad at Avram and says, "Why did you tell me she was your sister?" So Pharaoh sends Avram, Lot, and Sarai on their way, and they go up from Egypt into the Negev, past places called Bethel and Ai, and Avram invokes Adonai's name near a boulder on the way. One thing that I want to address before I talk more about the Parsha is that even though this Parsha is revered in the Jewish community, throughout the entire Aliyah, Sarai is treated less like a living person with thoughts and feelings, and more like a piece of property to be exchanged freely. Even today, in many parts of our world, women are given little to no regard by people who want to take their rights away, such as in Iran right now, even in some parts of the U.S. after the Supreme Court's decision overturning abortion rights. I wish something could have happened where Sarai had some say in what was going on concerning her future, or even just for the Torah to tell us how she felt about this. Who knows how this story would have been different if Sarai had got to have a voice. But unfortunately, because Sarai doesn't have the ability to speak her own views on the matter in my Parsha, I'm going to speak about the Parsha as it exists. While I was reading this, I realized that Pharaoh took a long time to tell Avram that he's upset about being lied to, an entire third of an aliyah. So I figured there had to be a reason that it took Pharaoh so long to express himself. Why didn't Pharaoh say something simpler and leave it at that? That would have at least made it easier on us 13-year-olds learning the Parsha. At first I thought maybe this was Pharaoh trying to bore Avram out of his mind as further punishment. But then I thought maybe Pharaoh really wanted to show Avram what he did was wrong by lying about Sarai, not just vaguely say, "You lied to me, get out." Pharaoh thought Avram was a good person, and he wanted to show him exactly what he did wrong and why he shouldn't do it again, so he would learn, as sort of a parting gift. This Pharaoh seems like a much better person than the Pharaoh we know and hate from the Exodus story. This Pharaoh doesn't try to enslave Sarai, Avram, and Lot. He never does anything to make us think he wants to harm Avram. Pharaoh's whole house gets hit with a plague because of Sarai, and he realizes he took Avram's wife. Pharaoh could have not cared or punished Avram brutally for his lies. We see that other people are willing to punish someone brutally when they wrong someone else, so Pharaoh could have done something terrible to Avram or had him killed. It would have been easy, it's Pharaoh's kingdom after all. But instead, Pharaoh takes the time to tell Avram exactly what he did wrong, and then sends him on his way with a ton of gifts that he had previously given him. There is a webcomic I like based off of one of my favorite book series called Warriors. The comic itself is called Tales of Perfect Heart. Perfect Heart is the main character in the comic. In the webcomic, Perfect Heart is ousted from his clan because he's a jerk. Then he then meets someone named Dave, who instead of being mean back to him like Perfect Heart's clan had been, Dave takes the less authoritative approach and tells Perfect Heart exactly how he's being a jerk by acting selfish, mean, and generally not nice. Perfect Heart responds by gradually becoming better, which shows us that Dave's approach is better than Perfect Heart's clan, who didn't engage with him and just kicked him out. I think this is the same thing that Pharaoh was trying to do, take a more direct approach while still kicking Avram out. By explaining to Avram what he's done, Pharaoh is giving him the chance to change and grow, just like Dave did for Perfect Heart. This portion made me think about how I respond to critical feedback. I usually ask myself, did I do something wrong, or is it them? Usually I try to figure out what I did wrong and why they're giving me this feedback, but my feelings depend on the circumstances. If it's someone who often tries to goad me into getting angry, which doesn't happen that often, then try to recognize if this is my fault and apologize. But if it's not my fault, I just say, not cool, dude, and try to brush it off. This means that sometimes I have to acknowledge that there was something I said that offended them, and I have to be willing to change or apologize. Sometimes it's easy for me to change, but not always. I think this parsha teaches us about giving a more direct teaching approach to giving feedback. Sometimes being more direct with feedback is actually kinder because we give the person a chance to change. When I first started learning about this parsha, I did not think I would end up talking about being kinder to people and criticizing them. And I definitely did not think that Pharaoh would be the one doing the right thing. But I am going to try and take the lesson that I got from this parsha seriously and try to integrate it into my words next time I criticize someone or am criticized by them. Before I finish, I would like to mention the importance of having good things to read. How a good book speaks to a person and can help them see the world differently or help them see themselves in the world can really make an impact. I based most of my Devar Torah on a book series I love, which helped me understand both my parsha and myself better. This is why my Justice project is to collaborate with the Semicolon Bookstore, a Black woman-owned bookstore in Chicago, and their parenthesis nonprofit and Clear the Shelves initiative. This project is focused on giving Chicago students books that they can see themselves in, like with a main character that is their same gender, race, sexuality, or religion. This is important to me because I love reading, but I don't always see a lot of Jewish main characters in books. I want to make sure that other kids can see themselves in their books, learn from them, and see what is possible in our world. If you want to help with the Clear Shelves project, you can go to my Justice Project page on the Semicolon website, which is on the program you received when you walked in. Remember, reading is a revolutionary act and one that everyone should be able to do.
Sam. Yeah, indeed. So the way we're going to call our aliyot this morning is whenever we're reading a section out of the Torah, which corresponds to the pages in this book. So we're starting from in Parshat Lech Lecha, page 69 in this book. It's a small. And you know what? Oh, also, I believe we ran out of these halfway through when y'all got here. So raise your hand if you do have one of these books. Okay, wow. And raise your hand if you do not have one. Great. I think, so we could do a little redistribution if people want to, but I think what we'll also do is we'll just go ahead and translate as people are reading. So, we begin on 69. ויעזור ויגן להושיע לכל החוזים בנו ונאמר אמן. הכל הבו גודל אלוהינו ותנו כבוד לתורה. Ya'amdu, Yaya and Danpar, and also Miriam bat Rose Bernard and Reuven ben Shmuel Marsha, which is to say all the grandparents, Linda and Dan, and Miriam and Raymond. Come this way. You can also go around that way. Sam's going to show you where he's reading. Eli is going to show you where he's reading from in the part. And Sam, if you want, you can take a seat or sit next to your dad for a couple minutes. Wow. Eli will show you where he's reading from in the scroll, and then you can lean in with that seat.
Vayomer Adonai.
We'll guide you on the blessing. All right.
Baruch et Adonai Hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayomer Adonai el Avram lech lecha me'artzecha umimoladetcha umiveit avicha el haaretz asher arecha ve'escha legoy gadol ve'avarcha ve'agadla shemecha ve'haya bracha ve'avarcha mevarchecha umekalcha or v'nivrechu v'cha kol mishpechot ha'adama.
And God said to Avram, Go forth from your native land, from your father's house to the land that I will show you. I will make of you a great nation. I will bless you. I will make your name great, and I will bless those who bless you. I will curse the one that curses you, and all of the families of the earth shall bless themselves by you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher notan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nota b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. I want to say Yashar Koach to all of you, because to see the generations that emerge from parenting and good parenting, and then watching good parenting, and then seeing your grandson stand up and give a devar like that, and knowing that one of the reasons that's possible is because of you. I mean, it's because of them, but it's also because of you. And so I hope you can take this moment to, how we say in Yiddish, kvel, and really enjoy, just really beam, and to know that all of your ancestors and influence contribute to who this kid is, who this young adult is becoming. And that's a great blessing.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you'll sort of move that way. And if one of you wants to stick around, you can. And we'll call up the second aliyah.
So in our second aliyah, we just heard how Avram and Sarai heard this call, but then this aliyah, they actually heed that call, and it's not all the time that we heed the calls that are heard and take the risk of actually taking that first step on our journey. And so this is a aliyah for anybody in the room who has started something new, a new project in this new year. We're only like 2 months into the new Jewish year. So barely. So if you have already seized the opportunity of 5783 and are starting some new project or new endeavor, this is an aliyah for you. I saw like at least one nudge over there, so.
And when we say this is an aliyah for you, meaning you can actually come up
Yeah.
to the Torah,
Yeah.
and we will lead you in the blessing, and you can, and aliyah means to come up, to ascend, to be recognized.
Yeah.
And it's considered an honor, but like anybody can do it. So if what Rabbi Stephen just described is you started something new and actually want to commemorate that in a ritual way, get on up here.
Come up. Unless you think one person standing up is enough, if that also applies to you. Like it's a group aliyah, we're asking.
Or Daniel can do it on behalf of all y'all. If you want to stand
I see
in
a few
your seat,
people.
you can.
We have few more people. There we go.
Yes,
There we go. Thank you. Na la'amod, everybody who has started something new in the new year. La'aliyah hashniya.
Right, come on in here, and you can see where Jacob is going to be reading from. Take that little yad here, and I'll give you this. Oh, you funny guy, here, use this. Here, go ahead. All right. we're reading from, we're on page 70, verse 4. All right.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayelech Avram, kasher diber elav Adonai, vayelech ito Lot, v'Avram ben 5 shanim ו70 shana betzeto mecharan, ויקח אברהם את שרה אשתו, ויד לוט בן אחיו, ואת כל רכושם אשר רכשו, ואת הנפש אשר עשו בחרן, ויצאו ללכת ארצה כנען, ויבואו ארצה כנען, ויעבור אברהם בארץ עד מקום שכם, עד אלון מורה, והכנעני אז בארץ, וירא אדוני אל אברהם, ויאמר לזרעך אתן את הארץ הזאת, ויבן שם מזבח לאדוני הנראה אליו, ויצק משם ההרה מקדם לבית אל ויית אהלו, בית אל מים ואי מקדם, ויבן שם מזבח אדוני, ויקרא בשם אדוני, ויישא אברהם הלוך ונסוע הנגבה.
And Avram went forth as God has commanded, and Lot went with him. Abraham was 75 years old when he left Haran. He took his wife Sarai and his brother's son Lot, and all the wealth they had amassed, and all the persons they had acquired in Haran, all of their people, and they set out for the land of Canaan. And when they arrived in the land of Canaan, Avram passed through the land as far as the site of Shechem at the terebinth of Moreh. The Canaanites were then in the land. God appeared to Avram and said, I will assign this land to your offspring. And he built an altar there to the Lord who had appeared to him. And from there he moved on to the hill country east of Bethel, and he pitched a tent with Bethel on the west and Ai on the east. And he built there an altar to the Lord and invoked God by name. And then Avram journeyed by stages toward the Negev.
לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
Since there's so few people here, do you want to share what you've started this year, Daniel?
Yeah, I started a class on computer hacking.
All right.
Okay. Noted.
Watch our world.
Noted. Proven?
Cybersecurity. No, just kidding. I'm doing new stuff at work.
New stuff at work. Awesome.
I'm about to start a new job.
Hey, all right.
So, like the journey begins with the first step, and often the first step is the boldest one to take. And so, yasher koach to all of you for having just the chutzpah, the audacity, the hope, all of that to take that first step this new year and to model for us what it means to really truly embrace the opportunity that's given to us with each and every year that comes our way. So,
You know what I mean?
I'm into that. If one of you wants
Just
to hang out.
Yeah, that's right. Escort them down.
Thank you.
One person. Are you reading the next one too? Natalie. Seriously, I'm keeping your number, Jacob.
Did you give me your talis?
Oh, yeah, I did. Thanks. I'll take it back. Thank you. But if you want one, we have them at the front.
Okay.
Ya'amdu Avram Yaakov ben David Yechiel v'Miriam Zisel v'Tzipora bat David v'Shifra la'aliyah ha'shlishit. You ready? Hang on. You're doing the blessing together.
Baruch Hu Adonai Haborach.
Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Haborach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayehi ra'av ba'aretz, vayered Avram Mitzrayma lagur sham, ki chaved hara'am ba'aretz, vayehi kasher hikriv lavo Mitzrayma, vayomer al Sarai ishto hinena yadati, Hinena yadati ki isha yafa mare isha yafe mar yafat mare vehaya kiru ota chamitrim ve'amru ishto zot vehargu oti ve'otach yechayu imrina achoti at where am I? Leman yitaf li v'avurech v'chayta nafshi biglalech.
And there was a famine in the land, and Avram went down to Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was severe in the land. And he was about to enter Egypt, and he said to his wife Sarai, I know what a beautiful woman you are. If the Egyptians see you and think she is his wife, they will kill me and let you live. Please say that you are my sister, and it will go well with me because of you, that I will remain alive because of you. Blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Sort of funny to do the translation of that particular aliyah out loud because it's all about lies and deception in marriage. And here the two of you are on the cusp of getting married in 2 months. So this is Natalie and Jacob, everybody. Got... oh, wait a second. Hold your fire. Hold your fire. Seriously. Hold your fire. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I wrote some notes because I didn't want to mess it up. The Hasidic master, the Baal Shem Tov, talks about how every person walks around the world with a light beam. That's sort of, it's from the moment of birth, you come out shining a particular light. And that when two people find each other and fall in love, their light beams merge and become an even stronger force for light in the world. And the Jewish tradition is actually quite clear that before a couple gets married, it's not like you're walking around being like an incomplete half person, and then you find another incomplete half person, and then you become one. That is not the Jewish version of marriage. The Jewish understanding of marriage is that a whole, complete, wonderful, awesome, fabulous person finds another person that is whole and awesome and wonderful and complete, that has integrity, that has a story, that has a background, that is different, so that you can be ezer kenegdo, so that you can be sort of mutual opposites, but that you can hold each other up. And so instead of like half plus half equals 1, it's 1 plus 1 equals more than 2. And the two of you are risk takers, are people who love fiercely, people who cook a mean anything, people who are generous, people who have taken steps that are brave, both toward each other and on your own in the world. And your light shines brightly and fiercely. And so I want to ask if Rabbi Stephen would hold a little mini chuppah with me over your heads. This, my friends, is called an ufruf. That means shout out in Yiddish. But because we can't all be at the wedding and sing and dance the hora with them, we bless them. And so especially if you are here to celebrate them. But I just want to say, let's stand as we do this. Thank you. God of love, Elohei Ahava, bless this couple, bless Jacob and Natalie in marriage. Bless them with your patience. Bless them with your forgiveness. Bless them with your love, your strength, your persistence. Bless them with your creativity. And bless them with laughter. Bless them with fertility at the right time. Bless them with all of the worthy desires of their hearts. Help us help them continue to be the force for strength and for inspiration and for culinary delight that they have already proven themselves to be in the world. May they grow stronger together. And we can say, Amen. Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, Yehelanu. You want to dance with them? Hold up here, Yehelanu. Ulechol Yisrael. Parents or friends?
Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulechol Yisrael.
a child and you want candy, children, come grab the candy, please. Oh, but don't hit me in the head with the candy. We still have more candy up here if you are a small person who wants candy. Or if you're an adult who wants candy. Come grab some candy. Help us clean up the bima.
And yes, well, yeah. If you want to sort of continue to hang, I guess you had the last aliyah, so
Come hang out with
That's
me.
right.
Come chill with me.
Oh, we're gonna adjust. We're gonna adjust the mode and the feeling in the room. Reuven has become the candy man. And guess what? There's gonna be another opportunity. So even if you don't get it all now, you can come back later. All right. We're gonna take a moment. Actually, we already put the cover temporarily resting on the Torah. In the context of Torah reading and learning and celebrating, this is the moment when Jews pause in the middle of the Torah service to do blessings for healing for anybody who is hurting, suffering, in need of attention and love. We say their names out loud because we believe that prayer matters. Prayer works. We don't know exactly how it works, but we know that when we invoke the name of somebody who needs healing, that the angels listen, God's listening, and that has power. So I'm going to invite anybody who's thinking about somebody today, this morning, who needs healing, who needs strength. There's so much love in this room. There's so much strength in this room. The idea is we take this and we inject it, out into the world with our intention and by saying the names of the people we love who need healing. So I'll ask you to stand. We will sing Blessing for Healing. It's bottom of 82 on the right. And then we'll sort of pause as we sing and just look around. And you can say the names of the folks you're thinking about.
sheberach avoteinu mekor habracha limotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Amen. Sending a refuah shlema, complete recovery of body, mind, and spirit, and an easy transition. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Put this down for a moment. We dive back into our Torah reading. We're going to pick up on page 73 with verse 14. Ya'amdu, and I call up Keshet Leah bat Reuven v'Miriam v'Ra'anan ben Avraham Avinu v'Sara Imenu, which is to say Karen and Russ, the proud parents, Laliyah HaRivi'it. Sam is going to be reading both of these aliyot, and if you haven't noticed, his amazing tutor, David Schwartz, is hanging out up here, making sure that everybody's got the words right. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Vayehi kivo Avram Mitzrayma Vayru Hamitzrim et Haisha Kiafahi Me'od Vayru Ota Sarei Faro Vayhalelu Ota El Paro Vatukach Haisha Beit Paro Ve'avram Haisha Ba'avra Vayhilo Tzonavakar Vachamorim Va'avadim Ushafachot Va'atonot Ugamalim Vaynaga Adonai Et Paro Nagaim Gidolim Ved Beto Al Dvar Sarai Eshet Avram Vayikra Pharaoh Avram Vayomer Mazot Asitali Lama Lohigatali Ki Ishecha Hi Lama Amarta Achoti Hi Vayakach Ota Vakach Ota Li Leisha V'ata Hine Ishtecha Kach Valech Vaitzav Alav Paro Anashim Vaishalchu Oto Verishto Vet Kol Asher Lo.
When Avram entered Egypt, the Egyptians saw how very beautiful the woman was. Pharaoh's courtiers saw her and praised her to Pharaoh, and the woman was taken into Pharaoh's palace. Because of her, it went well with Abraham. With Avram, he acquired sheep, oxen, asses, male and female slaves, she-asses, and camels. And, a few more verses. But the Lord afflicted Pharaoh and his household with mighty plagues on account of Sarai, the wife of Avram. Pharaoh sent for Avram and said, "What is this that you've done to me? Why did you not tell me she was your wife? Why did you say she is my sister so that I took her as a wife? Now, here is your wife. Take her and go away. Pharaoh put the men in charge, and they sent him off with his wife and all that he possessed. And thank you for giving us context to think about that aliyah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. And just to say to these proud parents, the Torah begins with the story of the universe and then the story of humanity. And it doesn't actually go well for humanity in the first couple of parshiot in the Torah. And so God sends a flood in the story. Hold on to these, by the way. Hold on to them. So God sends a flood and starts again, instead of with all of humanity, with a family. And so this week, we focus on a family. And how even if you have big universal dreams, you have to start inside your house. Humanity doesn't need anything that you don't actually want inside your own home. Love, good food, learning, books, good questions, conversations, safety, a sense of being a part and a home in your community, in your Jewish community, in your city. And so I think about your parents, Sam, a civil rights lawyer, a high school teacher. The world needs more teachers like Sam and more lawyers like Karen. But you can do what you can do, and you start where you are, and you start in your home, and you start with what you can teach in your own home. And so I think your parents are very much cut in the mold of Avram and Sarai. I don't know that Abraham and Sarah thought to themselves, you know what, let's be the founders of monotheism. And have billions of people the world over doing what we're doing now. I think they were just living their truth and sharing their truth and sharing with anybody who would listen. And I think you're cutting that mold, and it might just be that that's the way we change the world. So, shkoyach. Ya'amod, Ya'amod, Ya'amod. Shmuel Baruch ben Keshet Leah Vara'anan, which is to say, Sam, La'aliyah HaChamishit. This one's all you. You know where you're reading from? All right, hit it.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvrach.
Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvrach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torto. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vaya'al Avram miMitzrayim hu v'ishto v'chol asher lo v'lot imo hanegba v'Avram kaved me'od ba'mikneh ba'kesef u'va'zahav vayelech l'masa'av minegev v'ad Beitel Ad hamakom asher haya sham mahalo vatechila bein Beitel uvein ha'ai El makom hamizbeach asher asa sham berishona vayikra sham Avram b'shem Adonai.
And from Egypt, Avram went to the Negev with his wife and all he possessed, together with Lot. Now Avram was very rich in cattle and silver and gold. He proceeded in stages from the Negev as far as Bethel, to the place where his tent had been formerly, between Bethel and Ai, the site of the altar that he had built there at first. And there Avram invoked the Lord by name.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Now hold your fire, because I just want to say to this one right here. So we're down one rabbi this week. Rabbi Dina wanted me to share these words with you. Mazel Tov, Sam. I'm so proud of all of the work and growth that you have done to prepare for today. All year, you have embodied what it means to be a Jewish adult. You approach our tradition with respect and curiosity, always asking what it can teach you, but always sharing your own Torah, your wisdom and insight. I told you as we prepared your Devar that your questions about the Torah and the things that you see in it are so wise and smart. I learned so much from you. I think this is pretty much the best news ever for the Jewish community, and that we are lucky to count you as a member of our community. I can't wait to see all the things that you will do as a Jewish adult. And I have to say, I got a chance to talk to Sam a little bit in preparation for this moment, and the number of cultural references you dropped, and I just wrote down some of them, because I was like, I don't think I knew this much about anything when I was 13. Minecraft, Hollow Knight, Terraria, Undertale, Toby Fox, those are video games, right? Yes. But then you also are into coding. You're a music appreciator. Your mom already mentioned Fleet Foxes. Andrew Bird you mentioned, and you got to meet the owner of the Semicolon bookstore that you talked about at an Andrew Bird concert. And you're into a civil rights horror book, The Weight of Blood. Is that exactly right? Sam is like telling me all the book series that he's read, and that he's into horror, and that he's into, well, actually, no, you said there's a difference, actually, between slasher horror books and that are maybe a little too adult, and books that include suspense, and also, basically, he gave me like an English lesson, like an English literature lesson through the lens of YA fiction, and I just want to say, this is just the beginning. You know, for many people, I think there's a sense like you get to your bar mitzvah and this is the last time you read Torah. Not happening for you. Not happening for you. Did you see Jacob Portman and Natalie? And Eli? I feel like what we have going today is a theme of this is the beginning. And this is the beginning of a rich life in which we get to learn from you and you get to keep learning. And so I want to invite all of us to stand as we do the priestly blessing. The kids are poised. The kids are ready. We're going to hold out this towel. Here, Noah, do you want to come up here too? Sure. Little family blessing?
Use it as a shield.
Get in here. Get in here. Here, and Rabbi Stephen can hold over Russ. There we go. And you can all say, Ken Yehi Ratzon, which means, may it be so. So I say, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and guard you and keep you safe and healthy. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God shine a path for you, and may you shine your light bright in this world. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May you see God in the face of your family. May they see it in you. May you see the face of God in every person and creature who walks around the world. May you be a peacemaker, and may peace follow you wherever you go. Can you hear Ratzon? Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov. Simen Tov. Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov. Simen Tov. Simen Tov. Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov. Simen Tov. Simen Tov. Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov. Simen Tov. Yehela.
Hey lanu, hey lanu, ulecho Yisrael. Hey lanu, hey lanu, ulecho Yisrael. Hey lanu, hey lanu, ulecho Yisrael.
Can we get a little dancing going? Hey lanu. If you're a kid coming up here for candy, you gotta help us dance. You gotta help us dance now. Sorry. Simen Tovu, Mazel Tovu, Mazel Tovu, Simen Tovu, Simen. You wanna dance? Mazel Tovu, Simen Tovu, Simen Tovu, Mazel Tovu, Mazel Tovu, Simen Tovu. Hey lanu, hey lanu, hey lanu, uvechol Yisrael. Hey lanu, uvechol Yisrael. Hey lanu, hey lanu. Israel. Shkoyach. Wow. Woo! That was maybe the most intense candy toss we've ever had here. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's a lot.
You have serious friend. That's serious love. I know it's all love, right? Ya'amdu Hagva Bagolel. That's Lee and Dara Bass. We're going to raise and wrap the Torah, take it around one last time, and then place it back in the ark. Lee, are you ready? You lifted it up before. You know how heavy this thing is. Yep. All right. And we'll remain standing as he puts it in the air. You can put your hands or your pinkies in the air as if to help. Oh, the yad's still in there. Oh, thank you. Vezot HaTorah Asher, turn around, Moshe, Livnei B'nai Yisrael, Al Pi Adonai, B'yadmo, and you can take a seat. Hayana la la, hayana la la, hayai, 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 hayana la la la, hayana, hayana la la, hayai, hayai, open the ark back up and place it back inside. We're on 92. Ki lekachto natati lachem torati al tazovu. Shalom, Hashivenu Adonai, Elecha v'nashuva, Chadesh yameinu kekedem. Beautiful. And we can all take a seat. Woo. So I want to say welcome again, especially to anybody who's here for the first time. As I said earlier, it's Shabbat. We're a Jewish community, so either on Friday night or Saturday morning, we're doing something for Shabbat, always. If you want to come back, even if you came here for a special occasion today, but you're thinking like, you know, I might need a little ritual in my life. I might need a little music in my life. Saturday morning's a good time for that. Friday night's a good time for that. I invite you to return to us any old time and to get to know the community. Rabbi Stephen is about to start teaching a class called Renew Your Judaism.
I already started.
You already started. Never mind. You can't join it next year.
We're gonna do it again in the winter.
You're going to do it again in the winter?
Yeah, because it's going well. People like it.
Yay! But the point of it is sort of like if you want to re-engage. For many people, it's like, you know, I think what Sam just did was really interesting. Maybe I want to learn how to read Torah. I don't know. Would that be meaningful? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I should talk it through. Okay. The whole idea is to sort of talk through what it means to be Jewish in this world. And so that's a lot of what our community is about. I invite you to stay for lunch and get to know people over Kiddush when we get there. We're going to hear some words of Torah from Rabbi Stephen and then do closing blessings, and we will break. So
I will also say that if you are in this room and you have no clue what's happening, or maybe not even Jewish, we do still have a few slots left in our Exploring Judaism class.
oh, hey now.
Yeah, so
Right.
lots of ways to engage. So as Rabbi Lizzie noted earlier, the Torah in this week's Parsha takes a really startling turn, because the Torah starts in the universal with the creation of quite literally everything, and then it moves into a global perspective with the creation of humanity and our kind of first faltering steps as a species, and many faltering steps those are, into, with the beginning and opening words that were just read, a narrow focus on a particular family who's going to become a particular people. So we've gone from the universal to the global to the particular. And the words that begin our reading this week, that launch us into this narrative of a family and a people, are lech lecha. God says to Avram, lech lecha, go. It's almost like hard to translate a little bit. It's like, go yourself, like you yourself go. Like nobody else can go on this journey but you. You yourself go. Leave your father's house, leave your hometown, your birthplace, leave your native land, and go to this land that I will show you, a land where you and your descendants will become a great people. Lech Lecha is a challenge and an opportunity for Avram to become something more than what was expected of him, to step into a new way of being that only he himself could become, that only his family could grow into. And knowing the possibility that lay ahead of him, however uncertain, how could he remain where he was, knowing that there was something else out there, a fate, a destiny, a destination, if you will, that only he could reach. And so I want us to take a moment to understand the audacity of Avram and Sarai's and his family's journey. Because we condensed what was probably years, if not decades, of wandering into 20 lines of Torah, right? This was a moment in history when the idea of journeying to the next village, much less like a distant and unknown land, took a lot of courage and a lot of preparation. There was no way to know what the conditions on the road were ahead. There's no Google Maps. You cannot Google your way from Haran to Canaan. There's no way to predict the weather. There's no way to communicate with your destination, to even know if that destination was even still there, when communication took weeks, if not years, to happen between distant places. And we also have to remember that Avram had absolutely no clue where his journey would lead him. Lech lecha, go forth from your land, your birthplace, your father's home, to this place that I will show you, God says. Avram doesn't even get a name for the place that he is going, but only the promise that somehow he would know that he has reached his destination once he got there. And Avram continues to revisit this promise, asking God over and over and over again for reassurance throughout his journey, which shows us really the audacity, but also the uncertainty that lay on the road between where he was from and where he was going. And it wasn't for a lack of faith that Avram asked these questions. It wasn't that Avram is somehow less resilient or less courageous or less self-assured than the rabbis like to characterize him as. He's so often identified by our tradition as a paragon of faith. Rather, it's that the journey is hard. There is what we find in the text, some of what we read today, encounters with strange people speaking strange languages in strange lands, navigating the complexities of intertribal relationships, witnessing calamities like the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, living through famine and plague. But there's also what we know to exist in the space between these particular moments in the narrative. Days wandering in the mountains, the hills, and the plains of the Near East. Anybody who has been to the land of Israel knows that it can be a very harsh and unforgiving environment. The heat of the sun beating down on them. I really want us to inhabit that space, searching for food and water, not knowing where to find it. Sore feet and blisters, sandals worn through. All of this not certain, not knowing, not assured where this destination might actually end or how long it might take to get there. And truthfully, I actually feel like maybe this part of the story is the one that makes the most sense and feels the most immediate to us, is more relatable, because while we may experience moments of intense clarity and purpose, I know this is true for myself, that a lot of us spend a lot of our time living in the wilderness, unsure of how long it will take to reach our destination, or even what our destination might look like. And this is certainly true on the macro level. How do we solve climate change? How do we mitigate the resurgence of bigotry? How do we protect and preserve our democracies and safeguard the progress that we have made both here in this country and also, as we've seen in the past few weeks, overseas as well? And then how much more so is this true on the personal, on the private level? How do we plan for a future when tomorrow is not guaranteed and we cannot control what is coming around the bend? When the future itself feels so uncertain? There's this oft-cited adage from the Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Yet what is missed in this statement is that the entire journey, all 1,000 of those miles, is made out of many thousands of steps. Some steps have a clear purpose. When Avram heeded the call, Lech Lecha, go forth, when he packed his bags and gathered his family, when he left his father's home and walked to the edge of town, those are the steps that started his journey. They had a purpose, a direction to them. And certainly when he arrived in Canaan, when he looked across the Jordan River into the place where he would call home, the place where his children and his children's children would be born and buried, the place where his descendants would grow into a nation who over the generations would arrive in this very room here together. Those are the steps that ended his journey. There must have been a sense of purpose of, oh yeah, this is why I did this in the moment. Yet less clear in purpose are the steps that came between his departure and his arrival. The time he spent wandering in Egypt, which Sam so eloquently spoke about. His misadventures with neighboring tribes, which Sam also so eloquently spoke about. The conflicts that arose in his own family, which will come in the chapters we read in the weeks ahead. From our perspective, standing outside of the forest, seeing the landscape, perhaps we can see how these events set the stage for his eventual arrival in Canaan and the fulfillment of God's promise. But I imagine for Avram, standing among the trees in the forest, there were times when the path forward felt unclear, if not utterly and completely unknowable. And so how much more brave and how much more courageous, how much more hopeful in that moment where there's a lack of clarity, to take that next step. The thing is, Avram, I believe, is not the exception. Avram is the rule. I look around this room, many of you whom I don't know, but many of you who I have the blessing of knowing well, and I see people who have become exactly who they have been called to be, who rose to the challenge and the opportunity of their own lech lecha, to journey themselves forward because only themselves could fulfill that journey. Because they realized that where they were was not where they were meant to be, that there was something more, something better, something more important that lay ahead of them if only they had the audacity to seek it out. A bar mitzvah, for example, who is stepping into his own as a member of this community, leaving the comfort and the convenience of childhood, where so much of who you are is dictated by who you happen to live with, and finding your own unique place within the narrative of our people. Or perhaps a father who enrolled in our Exploring Judaism program after the shooting at the Tree of Life Synagogue 4 years ago last week, because he realized that the people in that sanctuary were not unlike the people in this sanctuary, people who he called family. That he had a place to claim within our community that only he could fulfill. Or maybe a bit closer to home, a rabbi who always thought that he would enter the Roman Catholic priesthood. They do have better outfits. but after experiencing painful ruptures with his inherited faith tradition, set out to find a community that loved him for exactly who he was. And maybe another rabbi, sitting not so far away from me, who decided to hang her shingle, so to speak, not knowing how it would go, or who might show up, or if anyone would even care 11 years ago. And people did care. Look at the room around you. I imagine there were moments when each of these folks, and I know this to be true for myself, making their way through the wilderness between then and now, between who they were and who they felt called to be, looked around and thought, what am I even doing here? Yet even holding that doubt, they persisted. Because who else could they be other than the person who they knew that they wanted to become? And at the very least, they knew that they could no longer remain where they had been, knowing that another destination lay around the corner, even if they weren't sure how long it would take to get there. And I think about each and every one of you, and I know each and every person in this room, perhaps on different points, on different journeys, are all taking those steps, step by step, toward a fuller and bolder and more unapologetic expression of the person that only you can be, the person that only you can be. For none of us are the person we were yesterday, or last month, or last year. How could we be? How could we be when for all of us there is a lech lecha, a call, a purpose, a destination that only we can answer, that only we can reach? And certainly these journeys take courage and a kind of boldness to respond to that invitation. But more so than that, I believe it is an act of faith. Now, we're not a people who talk about faith very often. Jews in general, we're not really like a Moses, take the wheel kind of people. But here's the thing. I am not talking about the kind of faith that is hands off, a reliance on something outside of and greater than ourselves at the abrogation of our own agency and ability. Our tradition is very clear that we, each of us, are co-creators in our own fate. I'm talking about the kind of faith that comes from the knowledge that even when we feel like we're wandering in the wilderness, the next step is yours to take. The next step is yours to take because only you can take it. And the step after that, and the step after that, journeying toward the promise that is you, just as you are now, and just as you are meant to be. The you that only each and every one of you can become. Shabbat Shalom.
Yeah, Shakoach, Rabbi Stephen. Well, we're going to stand and turn to 108 and actually begin to pray into those words. It's on us. It's Aleinu. All right. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'atei kedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'goyei aratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkeinu kahem, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא on 109, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אינו, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת עינו. We're on the bottom of 110. And it is said, God will one day preside over all the And one day, that day, God will be one, and God's name will be one. We turn to 111. We remember those who have come before us. If you are remembering somebody today who has died in the past week or the past month or the past year, or it's the anniversary of their passing, their yahrzeit, so you remain standing for this prayer, Kaddish Yatom. And if not, you can sit and can see the places in this prayer on 111 where you can participate. And it's just as important to say those amens as it is to actually go through and say the words of Kaddish. And if you want to share the names of the people you're remembering, so I'll just sort of look around, and if you want to say who you're remembering, go ahead. Aunt Morrill. Any other names for Kaddish? And Kyle Brumfield's mom, Adrienne. Yehi zichronam livracha. May their memories be blessings. We're on 111. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divra cherutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael Bagala uvizman kariv imru.
Amen.
Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach leolam ulamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudsha.
Bricho.
Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata damiran be'alma v'imru.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru.
Amen.
Amen. I want to invite up all the cousins to come up. We are going to make Kiddush Motzi and sing one round of a closing song together.
Cousins?
So we're on 113. If you want to join us for Kiddush, we're going to stand together. Yeah, we're going to stand. We're on 113. Al Kain Berach Adonai et Yom HaShabbat v'yikadshehu Savri.
L'chaim.
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Borei Peri HaGafen.
Amen.
It's safe for you. What we'll do is we'll bless this bread. Here, I'm going to give a few instructions. We're going to bless this bread. Kids will take, we'll pass it around, and we'll begin to sing Oseh Shalom, a prayer for world peace, because that's how we close out everything. And then we're going to be like setting up tables and chairs. And so if you want to help do that, one very powerful way you could help do that is actually by leaving the room or going to the sides of the room. Or you could help move chairs around tables and take out tables. But the truth is, once we will have done blessings, you can like go get food outside, and we will transform the room in here. So if you want to chat, do it outside. That's a nice way of saying get out of the way. Yeah. All right, but we'll pass this bread around first. We bless. Here, Karen and Russ, you want to hold it up? Oh, all right.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
Hamotzi lachem min haaretz. Amen. Amen. And thank you to Jacob and Natalie's family and to the Bas Ehlers for feeding us today. Oh, say shalom bimroma. Oh, yeah, say shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol yoshvei terah. Ve'imru, ve'imru. Amen. Now take some. Oh, say